So as you can see, there's quite a lot that's come out in June. We've got a little bit in reporting around the mobile layout, which is pretty awesome when we have a quick look at that. Some other very interesting stuff like the AI Insights integration now in GA. That's pretty good. I'm not sure if you've seen that before, but it is pretty amazing. And yeah, a few other things which around some new apps and updated apps that are on App Source. And yeah, a few items that haven't been demoed, but we'll try and keep it short and try and hit that 5-minute mark this time. So the mobile layouts are looking awesome, I must say, and come across as being very professional looking. The key part of this is the mobile layouts themselves. So you basically are now given much more finer control over how you lay out objects onto the mobile display. The display itself or the emulator is more modern looking. The grid is much more finer, so you can drag and drop with much more nuanced control. And really there's now the ability to layer objects on top of each other, so that's what gives you that flexibility to create those professional looking mobile apps. So automatic page refresh, really you're kind of basically looking at refreshing the entire page based on either a scheduled every 2 seconds, or you can base it on a change detection, so refresh when something in the underlying source changes, and you can only choose one source for this page, and keeping in mind that basically you could have multiple visuals using multiple different tables on this one page, so you're basically choosing a single column, for example, to be the piece of data that you're detecting against to identify whether a change has occurred, and then to refresh the page. So you just need to keep that in mind. And also, what he's showing here is really there are 3 ways to implement it. You can either go up here in the modeling menu and then click change detection there. You can enable sort of change detection by right clicking on the column, which is he's just showing now, and go through and enter the relevant parameters out in that dialog box. And the third mechanism is really the format pane or formatting visualization pane that you then select the page refresh and change the refresh type there and add a change detection or editor if you need be. So the other thing just to highlight, which kind of was there last month as well, which is just that Performance Analyzer is going to pick up the change detection queries, and so you can kind of see whether they're performing or not, and whether or not that column is a good column maybe to choose. Maybe there's something else that might be a better choice. So, and for the administrators, I think he's going to cover here is really that you can control for your organization whether the page refresh can occur, or you can it's allowable, have the capacities there or not, and also whether change detection measures are enabled, or that capacity is there for users as well. And we're really talking about in the service, Power BI service in the cloud. So just quickly, what he's showing here for administrators is that you can kind of identify the reports that are using change detection or automatic refresh, page refresh. And so basically you just need to, when you go into the capacity metrics for Power BI Premium, you click on query durations, look for the reports and filter according to total count, and the reports with a very high count indicating that automatic refresh is occurring, especially if it's occurring every 2 seconds. Hierarchy slicer, some tweaks here, but the important thing is it's in GA as well. The tweaks are really around just the indentation. You can modify it, the icons that are used for whether it expands or collapses. Some options are there, like you can have caret or plus minus sign. And also the text, when you resize the text, that the icon kind of changes as well. That's really good. It looks much more professional. So the AI visuals are now responsive to slices. This obviously wasn't the case before, but yeah, it's a good step, and I think everybody will be loving that as well. What we have here is the ability to utilize some of Azure's capabilities around AI and embed that into Power Query. So when you're pulling your data through into Power BI Desktop, for example, or into the service, you're basically able to plug and play some of the AI capabilities from Azure. So awesome. I think just out of loss of words for that. Basically, one of the examples are text analytics. So here you can choose detect the language, extract key phrase, score sentiment. So it's just going to give a quick example of how that works. But basically, you choose the relevant components, which part, what do you want to pull some sentiment from. It'll run and come back with a score column, which is what we're seeing there. And then you can kind of use that in your visualization as well. Same thing for vision. So the only vision capability that comes back is tag images. So obviously you're passing some images, comes back and tells you whether it's a car or a tree or something. And the final one is really, if you've got an Azure machine learning model that you've built, and basically you have access to that, then you can pull that through and access and leverage that in your Power Query. So she's just going to give a quick demo, which is pretty much the same as that vision one, just tagging images. So it takes a little while. And yeah, then it basically comes back with the calculated column of really the result of the model and the tag, so we can see that. Yeah, line dot chart formatting. So basically it just allows you to identify data that's in a series, whether some kind of category, and just give it a color and code it. Now this chart probably isn't really a great chart. I'm not sure why they used it for a line chart, but normally it indicates trends, and across the bottom would be some kind of time series. But if you can imagine that time series there, kind of would be interesting then to be able to plot some data colors across there that represent different categories. So it really just enables you to tell a story better, really. So new app source visuals. So I won't go through these too quickly. They are in the obviously on app source, but they're also in the original Power BI YouTube video, and I'll put the links in them down below. But they're very, very interesting, and certainly worth your time having a look at. Next is modeling. So the model view for Live Connect. So previously you couldn't connect through to a SSAS model, SQL Server Analysis Services model, and get back the tables, relationships that are in there. So basically now that this capability has come in where you can make that connection, which is what she's doing, and you're basically getting all the tables straight out of that SSAS model. So yeah, to turn it on, you have to go into the preview features and obviously turn on model view there for Live Connect. And the other update really in that modeling space is around relationships. I think it's a very minor thing, but really just being able to drag and drop, from any side on the table. And to create hierarchies now need to just solely do that through the field section itself. I experienced this, and people have complained that when you're trying to do that, when you're trying to drag and move fields around in the tables in the diagram view, you sometimes accidentally create hierarchies, all too often, so they've kind of eliminated that from that feature or functionality from the diagram view. So that's the June update. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get some value out of it. Please, hit the like button to let us know if you're enjoying those videos, and put some feedback in the comments below. Help us refine it, make it better for you, and we'll try and keep it short. Hopefully we got close to the 5-minute mark this time. And don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.